Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I hope you are watching this real time and you're a patron on our Patreon page. If so, thank you very much for your support. If you're watching it on YouTube real time because you've subscribed to our YouTube channel, thank you very much. If you have a Twitch account and an Amazon Prime account, you can link them together and we'll get paid that way as well. So you can do that in addition to supporting us on Patreon or subscribing on YouTube. Any way you can help us get paid. Otherwise, Shane's going to have to go get a job and our lights are going out. From SIFTD, from McWomble, who's never asked a question before. Several U.S. senators, sent a letter to the FTC asking it to further investigate Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard. It claims the deal could hurt workers and that Bobby Kotick's golden parachute sends a bad message. What's the likelihood of the purchase being stalled or stopped? All right. A letter from the Senate is a non-event to an executive branch agency like the FTC. So I am certain you guys are aware, because you all studied in school, about separation of powers. So we have three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. The legislative branch makes the laws. The executive branch executes the laws. So these senators who are in the legislative branch, who make laws, are telling the executive branch, okay, you have the law that our predecessors passed last in 1934, by the way, and we four, and by the way, I would give all four of them money, so I don't hate them, but we four are too lazy and lame to change the law. But something happened. Bobby Kotick is mean to workers. There's sexual harassment there, and we don't like it. We're too lazy and lame to change the law and make him accountable under the law. Therefore, we want you guys, in your job as executing the law as our predecessors wrote it 80 years ago, we want you to interpret the law to reflect how we're feeling right now, but we're too lame and too lazy to change the law. Sorry, doesn't work that way. So the FTC is absolutely bound to enforce the law the way it's written. Congress has the prerogative to rewrite the law. And I'll give you a pretty good example, and it's pretty topical. We have a Supreme Court case, Roe versus Wade, 1973, I believe, that says that the right to abortion is in the Constitution under the it's a privacy right in the 14th Amendment under equal protections. And the reason that case is controversial is Congress never bothered to make abortion legal. So the solution to anybody who worries about abortion rights is make abortion legal. The solution to anybody who thinks abortion should be illegal, make abortion illegal. Congress can speak. They can do it. If they make abortion legal or illegal, the Supreme Court will rule on whether that's constitutional or not. But it's absolutely constitutional to make it legal, like for sure, because Roe versus Wade is the precedent. But they're too lazy to do that, and then there's a lot of hand-wringing. Oh my God, the Supreme Court's going to outlaw abortion, and now no one can get abortion anymore. You want to change that? Write a law. So, same analogy. You don't like what Bobby Kotick's doing? Write a law. So the answer is 0.0 chance that the FTC is impacted by anything those four senators did. And the reason they did it was so you would ask me a question on Pachter Factor, and I would talk about it. And now, and I mentioned them by name. So now Sheldon Whitehouse and Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren have greater progressive bona fides. They are more pro-female worker, anti-sex discrimination, as they should be. And we're all reinforcing that they care about the little guy. Except they don't care enough about the little guy to change the fucking law. So I don't understand them at all. It's like their day job is write laws, not write the FTC a letter. What the hell is wrong with them? It makes me crazy. And this is unfortunate. I actually think that Bernie Sanders, I think, is a communist, so he's a weird guy. But Elizabeth Warren means well. She's way too liberal for me. She means well. Cory Booker's a stud. Love him. And White House is a stud. But they're just all running for president. And so White House maybe not, but Booker is for sure. And by the way, I think Booker's the candidate next election, so get ready for that one. Yeah, they're running for president, and they want to be on record that they support women in the workplace and they're anti-sex discrimination. So they write a letter, they get a lot of press. No, the FTC will ignore it. Now, the FTC may decide to do all this stuff on their own, and they can. And if the FTC wants to block, excuse me, if they want to block Bobby getting paid out on the deal, I guess they can. I don't even know how big Bobby's golden parachute is, but what's that?
Big.
I'm sure.
It's almost $500 million.
That's right. But whatever. That's Bobby's golden parachute is something that the board of directors at Activision approved and then obtained shareholder approval for that. So the shareholders of Activision voted for it, and Congress can't unvote for it. FTC can't unvote for it. Congress can pass a law, no golden parachute shall be over $50 million or whatever. Of course they can, if they want to. That is excessive regulation of business, but they can. And by the way, while we've got me on this hot topic, just so you know, and I'm just giving you nominally, the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of the worker. So these 4 Democrat senators are absolutely being consistent, saying that they're worried about worker rights and workplace safety. That's 100% consistent with Democrat principles. The Republican Party is supposed to be the party of business, and again, that's a noble cause to take up as well. And somebody has to watch out for business and capitalism. And so one would think, that under Republican administration, no merger would ever be blocked. One would also think that under Republican administration in Florida, no one would ever think to boycott Disney because Disney supports gay rights. But that's happening as I record this. So, these hypocrites, these Republican hypocrites who claim that they want small government, less intervention, and open markets for business are organizing boycotts of Disney, one of the largest employers in the state of Florida. That is mind-boggling. It's so hypocritical. So again, if you're a Republican, vote Republican. Just don't vote for Ron DeSantis because he's a bad dude who is anti-business, and he's proving it every day. He's also anti-gay, which is another reason to hate the guy. Apparently he thinks he's running for president. Whoever he runs against is getting my vote and my money. So there you go. Anyway, don't think senators can impact mergers because they can't. It's all for press, and obviously you read about it somewhere, so they had the desired effect. They got the press that they wanted. Now, do I actually think the purchase will be stalled or stopped? There's a lot of speculation that the chairperson of the FTC, a woman named Lena Khan, she's very much a anti-big tech person, doesn't like to see big companies get bigger. And while I think that her bias, her inclination would be to stop any big company from buying any other big company, in the scheme of things, Activision is a rounding error to Microsoft. I don't know what Microsoft's revenues are, but something like $100 billion, and Activision's like $8. It doesn't matter. And Microsoft's gaming revenues are something like $8, and Activision's are $8 in a $180 billion market. Who cares? Like, they have no pricing power, no control, nothing. So the FTC is going to definitely insist that Microsoft continue to produce Activision games for PlayStation, and Microsoft has already said they will, and they will agree to that, restriction on getting the deal done. They will say yes. So stalled or stopped, I'd say no chance. Stalled, it really just depends on what the questions are and how Microsoft responds. The real interesting thing is that Microsoft has a pretty well-earned reputation of being a good employer, friendly to women, lots of senior women in that company. Really a great. I don't know more than maybe 100 or so people who work at Microsoft, but it's a pretty big mix of women. I can't say if they're racially balanced or not. Like I don't know I know 1 or 2 black people and 1 or 2 Hispanic and other races, but I don't know. But women, big percentage. Not 50, but not 20. It's more than 20 and less than 50. And in senior positions, 2 of my faves, Bonnie Ross and Kiki Wolfkill pretty much are responsible for the Halo franchise and run 343, and they get their done. And what Shannon Loftus ran Age of Empires, and Sarah Bond, I'm not even sure what her job is now, but she's a direct report to Phil, and she's a big deal. She was like a legal person, I think in a past life, but they have a ton of women in very senior positions, and so I think Microsoft's a good employer. I mean, I think that, well, I believe sexual discrimination and sexual harassment probably go on in every large organization, because everyone, every organization of 1,000 people or more is going to hire one person who's a bad guy. So I'm sure there are bad people at Microsoft. I just think the company is a really enlightened, women-friendly, anti-harassment workplace. And I have to say, look at the stuff that they do, like the adaptive controller for the Xbox. I mean, they did market that and kind of pat themselves on the back, but let's be real, that they spent 10x what they're earning from that thing, because they actually truly believe gaming is for everyone, and that they should allow people with disabilities to have access to games. And I've been to their events and seen people with disabilities playing games and playing them very well. So it's awesome, and that's just their DNA. This is who Microsoft is. Again, famous last words. I'm sure someone knows someone at Microsoft who's a bad person. I don't know any. The guys I know are just awesome. So I think that the concern that the sexual harassment that's happened at Activision in the past will continue in the future under Microsoft is misplaced. I would not be concerned about that at all. You should be more concerned if Activision remains independent than you are if they become part of Microsoft. So I'd say the deal does go through. And again, I think that the FTC will ask all the right questions and will conclude that that competition isn't hurt by the combination, and so I think it happens. If you're a Patreon patron, we do appreciate it. Shane needs some help, so if you guys can find an extra $1 a month or two, please up your contribution. If you're subscribing on YouTube, thank you very much. Again, Shane can use it. I hate to see the guy, starve to death, and then he can't even afford. And by the way, his gas just to get to my house had to cost him like $12 today, just to get here, maybe 15. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're a Twitch member and an Amazon Prime member, please link those accounts. The instructions on how to do that are in the show description below. And if you're doing none of those things just because you're lame and you can't help yourself, follow me on Twitter. Give me a hard time, @Michael Pachter. I'll see you next time.